This video is dedicated to Kobe Bryant. Kobe, thank you. What is going on, guys? And today we'll be comparing and contrasting Hassan Whiteside's defense with Rudy Gobert's. Both are enormous rim protectors who help anchor their team's defense, and it's Whiteside who leads the league in blocks. So why is it then that Gobert is the two-time Defensive Player of the Year, while Whiteside isn't even close? My name is Daniel, and let's get to it. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Raid Shadow Legends. One of the most popular RPG games out right now is set in a dark fantasy world. This good-looking game has cross-platform capabilities, so you can play on your phone, tablet, and even a desktop computer. Once you've downloaded the game, you'll pick one of 4 different champions to start building your dream team. My favorite is this beast named Gallic, who reminds me of Steven Adams. And as you progress through the campaign, you'll collect unique champions and gear to customize your team. As you progress, you'll battle clan bosses, and you'll also be able to play online in the arena. Here you can dominate like Gobert does on defense. So, go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. Best of all, this game is free to play. Try it today. Now back to the video. So one area where Whiteside doesn't quite level up on defense is with his defensive feel, and here's one glaring example. Here in the pick and roll, it's his responsibility to protect the basket and contain the ball. He can't just focus on the roll. But here, he lets Evan Fournier just walk to the basket for a layup. That's just bad defense. Again, he's in a pick and roll drop, and this time he's guarding Marc Gasol, who's a three-point threat, and he'll pick and pop to the perimeter. So this is tough on Whiteside, but he has to contain the ball, and then on the pass to Gasol, scramble out to him. But here we see he commits a basic mistake by going out to Gasol too early, not stopping the ball, and letting Van Vliet get a layup. So he'll make glaring mistakes like that, and the other thing about Whiteside is that he rarely dictates. He's more reactionary in the drop. So here, for example, Ingles is able to fool him with a ball fake, and Whiteside was just reacting to that fake. Now, to be fair, dropping like this isn't easy because what the Blazers and Jazz both do is they defend the pick and roll with 2, meaning they'll have Whiteside drop, and the 3 off-ball players, their job is to stay home on the shooters. So Whiteside is really on an island here trying to contain the ball and the roll, but still, he's got to do a much better job. So what makes Gobert different? So for one, in the pick and roll drop, he is much more likely to dictate things with a jab at the ball. And we see that here. So it's the same coverage, Gobert is dropping, and you have 2 Blazers players going right at him. But what Gobert does here is he'll jab his right foot at McCollum. This helps to keep the ball handler guessing, and the goal is to make McCollum think he's committing to the ball, but in reality, it's a quick stunt and he's keeping his momentum back. So on the pass to Scal, he can recover in time and force a miss. Here's another great example. Robinson will get the handoff, and as he comes off the screen, Gobert will jab at Robinson, and then he'll recover to Adebayo on the pass. Now here, Gobert goes up against the more experienced Dragic, and Dragic does something smart. He sees Gobert stick that left foot out to jab at him, but instead of passing it to Adebayo, Dragic says, okay, I'm going to challenge that left foot and look to get a layup. But look at Gobert's balance and length to still get the block shot in this situation. And he'll even use this jab in non-pick and roll plays. So here it's in transition. Fultz will come right at him, and watch closely how Gobert will jab at Fultz, baiting him to give it up, and then on the pass he recovers to Vucevic and forces a travel. Fantastic defensive feel. The other thing about Whiteside is that he can be very slow to react to pretty much anything. So here, for example, in pick and roll coverage, Ingles drives left, and at this point, Whiteside should be shifting over more toward the middle to contain Ingles. But we see how slow he is, so when he does meet Ingles, his momentum is still going toward Ingles. This prevents him from recovering on time when the ball goes to Gobert, and he has to foul. Now compare that to this play by Gobert. Lillard, who's one of the quickest guards in the NBA, will reject the screen toward the middle. And notice Gobert, how quickly he is to reverse his momentum and recover and contest Lillard's shot at the basket. The sheer difference in reaction time can be quite staggering. Whiteside's next big problem is with effort, which if he gave consistent effort, he'd be able to overcome a bunch of his feel issues, but he doesn't, and a great way to demonstrate this is showing you how he deals with interior screens. So here Vooch gets a simple screen toward the top to begin a set play. Whiteside should already be attached to Vooch, but he isn't, and when he sees the screen, he doesn't try to close that gap. Instead, he allows himself to be screened, and this gives up an easy layup that should have never happened. Vucevic killed him in this game, and here Whiteside has to deal with a simple cross screen. But instead of getting physical with Vooch and fighting over the screen, he goes under the screen, taking the easy way out, and Vooch gets a shot. I mean, this is almost unbelievable. Same game, but not the same play. Whiteside shows poor technique and, in my opinion, just poor effort trying to navigate this cross screen, and he gives up another shot inside. After containing the pick and roll here, on the kickout pass, notice how he falls asleep and lets Vooch cut right in front of him for a shot inside. No screen necessary for him to get confused. So Whiteside does not give consistent effort, but Gobert does, and here the Jazz played the Magic, and Gobert did not get demolished by Vooch, and it's easy to see why. Vooch is on the baseline, Gobert is active, alert, he gets physical and tight, so when the screen comes, Gobert goes over the top, and he doesn't give an easy advantage. What I also like about Gobert is that he's very active in terms of protecting the basket, even when here, for example, he's guarding Adebayo on the perimeter. But notice how he has his arms out and he's staying engaged. So when Jimmy Butler gets a cut to the basket here, Gobert is ready to pounce and help protect the rim. Whiteside, on the other hand, doesn't show the same activity when he's guarding someone on the perimeter. So here he's guarding Gasol, and he's staying close to Gasol, which is fine because Gasol can shoot. But on the drive, once Hollis Jefferson gets deep like this, Whiteside should be looking to crash into the paint and hopefully help on the defensive glass. But he sort of stays out near the perimeter, barely moving, and Hollis Jefferson gets his own board. And I think we've seen when he's off ball, he's very prone to fall asleep and not be engaged. So here he's guarding Gasol, and with the ball in the post, he's not doubling right here, but he's also giving Gasol too much space considering Gasol can shoot, and being in no man's land like this is just unacceptable. And lastly, Whiteside lacks defensive discipline. So here, for example, he gambles for the post steal, doesn't get it, and Vooch gets fouled. This time it's in the drop. He reaches for the steal as if he's going to swipe Donovan Mitchell, giving Mitchell a lane. His lack of discipline also causes him to be airborne too often, mostly against pump fakes. So here he actually shows pretty good effort. So on the pass in the pick and roll, he recovers to Deng, and he doesn't bite on that first pump fake right there. And so now he's in perfect position just to go straight up and vertical. But he bites on the second pump fake, and he fouls. Gobert, on the other hand, is smart, disciplined, and he's way less likely to fall for a pump fake. Here, for example, on this help rotation, notice how he doesn't fall for Melo's numerous pump fakes, and he draws the offensive foul. Well, there you have it, guys. The eye test paints a certain story, and the numbers also back that up. The difference between the two on defense is certainly a factor for the Jazz having the 6th ranked defense and the Blazers having the 27th ranked defense. Also, when we look at the on-off numbers, the Jazz allow 9 points less per 100 possessions when Gobert is in. So they're 9 points better defensively when Gobert is in, while the Blazers, according to the on-off numbers, are just a little bit better defensively when Whiteside is in. I hope that video was informative, and I hope you learned a little bit about center defense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.